there's not a lot of traditional shooting guards anymore. But
Mm-hmm.
if you go through the league, there's not a shooting guard in the NBA this season that had a better year than you. Like I would argue that you had the best year of any sort of traditional shooting guard in the NBA, and you weren't an all-star, and you weren't on all of the all NBA teams. It's wild to me.
Yeah. We don't do. It's tough. Our criteria changes every year, every couple years. So it's now guards and forwards and centers, and so you got guys who are 7 feet are guards or forwards, and it's like, all right. So it knocks me out, automatically. You got Braun as a guard. I mean, you're not going to argue that. And you got who was it? Ben Simmons and I think other guys who are just 6'9". They're listed as guards. So it's tough. That we changed the criteria of it, of our positions, but I don't know, man. It's definitely motivational moving forward, but it definitely sucks knowing that I feel like I had a really good year. Um, and I mean, I had career numbers in a few categories as well. And it's tough to hear that, people are like, yeah, you had a better year than last year. And it's like, well, damn, I was an all-star last year and borderline all NBA. So what's the difference? So it's tough, but you keep pushing.
Do the snubs hurt? I mean, you just said they're motivational, but do they hurt at all? I mean, you've already been an all-star. You've already done that. You've already checked that box.
I would say the one this year hurt for sure. All NBA, I kind of expected. So it was like that one didn't hurt as much. So when All-Star, I was definitely surprised by that. But then again, especially when the players all voted for me to start in the game. So it's like when you look at it, it's like, all right, you got the fan votes, you got the media votes, and it's like, all right, it's a popularity contest, and I'm not going to win that game ever. So,
JJ, I was going to ask you this, with Brad sitting here, like if you were to poll players, if you were to poll the whole league, and you're like, you need somebody to get a bucket at the end of the game, at the end of the half, the end of the quarter, whatever it is, he's got to be in that top whatever 5, 6. Based off basically since you've come into the league, you've been in that place. But to JJ's point earlier, you've done it in the playoffs, you've done it in the last 2 minutes of games, you've done it at every place. And so, do you like? It's a weird question for you to answer, Brad. But like JJ, do you feel like the players look at something like that and you're like, this is bullshit that a guy like this is not honored?
Well, we've sort of touched on this before, and I don't want to belabor this point, but we talked a ton about the all defensive team and where there's a disconnect between who's getting voted on these teams and who players view as the best defenders and the most valuable defenders.
Yeah.
And so I think there at times is a disconnect. To your point about the popularity contest, yes. I mean, certain guys in the top 10 of fan voting are not in the top 30 at their position. Like it's, you know what I mean? But they're on the Lakers. I'm going to throw Alex Caruso under the bus a little bit, but they're on the Lakers. Right. You know what I mean? So that's one thing. But I do think we the criteria and how we view players sort of evolves, and then you also always have to factor in winning. And to that degree, I think that probably is sort of what hurts you the most this year.
Of course. Always. And that's why I kind of like it didn't hurt as much because I look at it as like, you got to win. I mean, it's plain and simple. All these other guys are in the playoffs or have a chance to win a championship, And granted, yeah, you had a great year, but you guys have won, 28, 29 games. So, I mean, it's like it's in a way, it's like, okay, you're just getting numbers, So you just gotta turn those into wins and make those numbers mean something.